Hey, what's going on? It is 12 noon on Wednesday, which means it's time for this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. My name is John Christmo, and this show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every Wednesday, 12 noon Eastern Time, to help you understand the technical side of the real estate industry. And what we're talking about today is something very important for people thinking about starting a career in real estate, but as well as for people that need to complete post-licensing, maybe get their broker license, maybe if it's been a while since you've taken licensing classes, or you've never taken one before, how can you take them now? In 2021, what options are available? You know, this isn't just the old-fashioned online courses that are basically just online textbooks. Those are still out there, but there's a lot more engaging, interactive online formats, but then we also have our tried and true classroom format. So we're going to be talking about which style is going to be maybe best suited for you based on your learning style, based on your structure, based on your schedule, based on which method you're going to get the most out of and which method is going to help you best prepare yourself to speed through this licensing process so you can hit the ground running and get your real estate career started. So really excited to share this information with you today. My name is John Christmo, and the show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. Hey, welcome back to this week's episode of Ask the Instructor. My name is John Christman. The show is brought to you by the Tampa School of Real Estate. We're here every Wednesday, 12 noon Eastern Time. If you're not yet subscribed, hit that little bell icon so you get notifications whenever it is that we have new videos. But what we're talking about today are class formats. So to get your Florida real estate license, there is a course required that you must take and successfully pass the end of course exam. And the goal of this course is to get you prepared to pass your state exam. So there's three formats available. The good old-fashioned classroom, then we have our online classrooms, aka our live stream courses. And then we have our self-paced on-demand format. Now, what's the benefit of a classroom? Well, the big benefit is that you've got an instructor. Classroom courses are instructor-led, so if you like having someone such as myself standing there and guiding you through this journey of information, you'd probably prefer an instructor-led class. Now, our self-paced course, this is not instructor-led. This is self-led. So with the self-paced on-demand course, you're progressing through the material where it's not just videos it is that you're watching, because if you're just watching a static video of some instructor talk about these topics in the pre-licensing course, that probably puts you to sleep, at least in the format it has to be taught in the pre-licensing course. We'll talk about that more in a second. So this is more of an interactive format. So if you're a video person, this format, the self-paced on-demand one, probably isn't going to be for you. If you prefer an instructor-led experience, well, either the classroom or our live stream is also instructor-led. And so the live stream course is meant for people who do prefer that instructor-led classroom style format, but with the convenience of still being able to do that from your home, from your office, from wherever it is that you have an internet connection. And we have morning classes, afternoon classes, day classes, evening classes, weekend classes for both our classroom as well as live stream schedules. So how does the self-paced on-demand at your own pace you kind of go through when you're working through the material on your own? How is that working? Does that actually work? You know, that's the big question, the big concern, because, you know, sometimes there might not be a perfect schedule, or maybe you have a crazy hectic schedule, so it's almost impossible to accommodate it at a regular interval. So maybe you're looking at the self-paced option and you're like, I don't know if I'll be able to do that. I don't know if I'll be able to learn it on my own. Well, you're not quite on your own, because the way this course is designed, it's designed to make this learning easy, to break things down into simple terms, but you're actually applying things immediately, right away, in the content. That's what you ultimately have to do on your exam. Now, in a classroom, an instructor might engage to a certain extent, but you really don't actually apply this information until you start doing practice questions. Whether you're doing practice questions in the actual unit, at the end of the unit, you're maybe doing our question simulator, something like that. Whereas our self-paced course, as you're learning all the information, the application is part of the actual learning process. So it's a really neat concept, but it actually makes it where you can retain this information and self-teach yourself this information. Now, the one thing I would say with this self-paced format is if you're the type of person who does need a consistent schedule and needs somebody to help you hold yourself accountable, that's where these instructor-led options are going to be better, because there is a set structure, there's a set schedule, there's a curriculum that's followed at a certain pace. You know, one of the things that's great about this self-paced course is you do have up to a year to complete it. Now, that's probably not great because you probably don't want to take a year to complete it, but maybe you did. If you did want to take your time and absorb every last detail you possibly could, the self-paced course is going to probably be the best option for you. Because as you learn the information in your pre-licensing course, there's 19 units that were required to teach you by the Florida Real Estate Commission in order for this course to count for credit to get your Florida real estate license. And that being said, not all 19 units are equally important for your real estate exam. As a matter of fact, the Florida Real Estate Commission actually gives us percentages of which units are which percentage of the exam. On top of that, we also know what's important to the Florida Real Estate Commissions, and on top of that, we have experience helping thousands of people get their real estate license. So our team of instructors have a pretty good idea of what information is important, what information is relevant, and that's what really shines through in our study materials, because we could focus on just that information in our study materials. However, in the actual course, we are required to teach information, even if that information isn't likely to be on the exam. Now, if you're wanting to know every last detail, everything you could squeeze out of that information that isn't quite as likely to be on the exam, there's not going to be a lot of time in a instructor-led course to expand on that information. That's actually one of the reasons why we started Ask the Instructor, was to provide this medium, this format, to where we can expand on the information that's covered in the course and go deeper and talk about things in a more real-world context, as opposed to just how you're seeing it in the course and the limited parameters that you need to know it for your real estate exam. So because the purpose of this course, whichever format it is that you're taking, the purpose of this course is to get you your real estate license. Not necessarily to teach you everything about real estate. And if there's really more so a purpose, more so a reason why this course exists, is because the Florida Real Estate Commission wants to ensure that you have a minimal competence not to harm the public. And so the things that are important for the exam a lot of times are those things that could potentially harm the public. And even in our self-paced course, we've got great study guides that help narrow down and refine this information there, but you've got the time to spend. They've got these built-in field trips that we call them. These field trips are actually pretty neat because it takes you to the links to whatever government agency is being referenced or whatever laws that are being referenced. So with this self-paced on-demand type of course, you could actually get outside the course literally and learn more information about whatever that topic is. Now, that's not necessarily going to help you for your exam, though. That's just for those of you that are curious. So if you're curious, if you're looking to pull out as much information as you can from this course, that self-paced course is going to be a great option for you. Now, for those of you that are looking for more of, again, that structured curriculum of, okay, tell me what's going to be really important, tell me what I need to know, tell me what are the important things, make it easy for me to remember it, because I want to make this process as painless and as easy as possible. Those are going to be usually our instructor-led types of formats. Now, this is another catch, though. So when we got approved for live streaming, back in 2020, over a year ago now, so we've been live streaming for over a year now, but back when we got approved for live streaming, our approval required us to teach this course as if it were a classroom course. We had to shut down our classrooms. We didn't know what to do, and we're like, all right, well, let's see if we could get this live streaming thing figured out. So we got live streaming approved, where we could offer courses just like we would in our classroom, but rather than you sitting in front of us, spreading your germs all over, you could be at home behind your computer screen. And so that live streaming format, it is like the course, that it's a kind of a one pass type of thing that you're going through this material. Now, with these courses, really any of our courses here, I would highly recommend our Pass First Try study tools. With this, you'll have your textbook to reference back to, and this you could still reference back to your online materials. But again, to narrow down, to refine this, to make it easy, there's a little bit more that can be done. And that's why we created PassFirstTry.com. Now, why do we call it PassFirstTry.com? We actually cannot guarantee you'll pass your exam on the first try, so this isn't a guarantee that you'll pass your exam on the first try. Only you are in control. We could give you the tools for your success, but you've got to actually use these things at PassFirstTry.com. And what the tools at PassFirstTry.com do, so we've got our Secrets of the Real Estate Exam that goes over just a bunch of little test-taking tips and strategies. It's not really for studying, but more so understanding fully what you're getting yourself into with this exam and how to take advantage of that system and this process any way it is that you can. On top of that, you also have our MP3 audio review. And what that does is it's a 5-hour audio review. These are 63-hour courses. These are 63 credit-hour courses here. They're a little bit shorter than that in actual time because the FREC doesn't count an hour as 60 minutes. They count it as 50 minutes. But either way, we're condensing down this information to just 5 hours. Now, how do we do that? How do we take a 60-hour course and bring it down to 5 hours? We focus on the key points only. And the benefit now that MP3 audio review is you could listen to it on repeat and you could drill it into your head. Yeah, you could go and take the class again, but would you want to go through a 60-hour class again when all you really need to do is go through a 5-hour audio review? Same thing for whether that's classroom or online. And then same thing with the self-paced course, because with the self-paced course, this is at your own pace, so you could in theory do it quicker, but chances are you might be going through this self-paced course longer than it would take overall hour time spent in a classroom or live stream type of format. So why would you go through that again a second time and spend, again, the equivalent to the course time when really 5 hours? You could go through that 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times, 10 times, 12 times in the time it takes you to go through that course one time. So that MP3 audio review really helps you drill in the key points that you want to remember and really memorize, the things you need to memorize. That's what the MP3 audio review is about. But then we have our question simulator. Our question simulator now gives you the opportunity to see if you can apply those key points you've been studying in the context of an exam question. Now, with that question simulator, I know everyone's eager after they go in the course to go in there and start doing a practice exam. That can be discouraging, especially if you haven't been doing anything to study other than just taking the course. Any one of these 3 courses here. Now, this one you're probably going to be studying the least on top of what you're doing in the course because the whole course is a self-study. Whereas these instructor-led types of formats, that time where an instructor is leading you through a class, that isn't studying time. So adding in that extra time of listening to the MP3 audio review, whether it's you're driving in your car, working out, whatever it may be, just drilling that in your head, listening it to while you sleep, no guarantees there. But then you get into these practice questions, and now you have the opportunity to apply, to see, once you've done some review, that you could actually see what sections you need to go back to and review some more. And you might say, well, really, do I have to study this much to pass the exam? Not necessarily, but if you want to pass it on your first try, this is what we'd recommend. You don't necessarily have to study. I know people who swear they don't study at all. They just go take this exam like 15 times and eventually they somehow pass. Maybe that exam time factors into studying of every time they're taking the exam, or they've maybe taken it so many times that they've seen all the questions. Who knows what? But at $40 a pop, that could be a little bit pricey. And that's a lot of time because it takes you probably 3 hours to take this exam if you don't know what you're doing. Whereas if you're studying, you know what you're doing, you might have this exam done in just an hour. So it's just the question of where it is that you want to spend your time. Do you want to spend your time studying, or do you want to spend your time taking the exam? Because if you don't spend your time studying, you just have to spend your time taking the exam until you end up passing. And the worst part is where you go into it with a mentality right off the bat that you don't need to study, you take the exam, it's a rude awakening, turns out you do need to study, and now you're actually studying. Whereas if you just started studying from the beginning, right from the get-go, right as you're going through the course, and this is what our pass first try strategy teaches, to start studying as soon as you start going through the course, because when you put time between learning this information and having to test on the exam for it, that time causes you to forget. You know the saying, if you don't use it, you lose it. You don't use it, you lose it. So our pass first try strategy is about not losing it, listening and drilling in that MP3 audio review as you're going in and learning those deeper units. And then once you've done actual studying where you're confident to a certain extent that you could do this, start doing your practice questions in that question simulator, or you even have practice questions in all three of these different course formats. So this is all baked right into the course already. It's just the question simulator is a more powerful tool designed for studying as opposed to just some example questions that you're going to find in your textbook. So that question simulator is going to help you figure out which units you still need to review. Now you might say, well, how do I review if I've already been listening to the MP3 a million times and I'm still getting questions wrong? Well, that's what our weekend prep recording is for. Our weekend prep recording is basically our weekend cram crash course, but in a recorded format. It's an actual live, in-person weekend cram crash course that has been recorded and also split up, so you could watch the whole thing start to finish and go put yourself through the intense weekend session, or rather than overwhelming yourself and wasting a bunch of time staring at a computer screen because your face is glazed over because your mind is shut down, because going for 8 hours a day even when you're here in person is really difficult to do. So rather than trying to watch it all at once, you'll have 6 months access with these pass first try study tools where you can go through and watch this weekend prep recording as many times as you need to, and you don't have to watch the whole thing. You could go to whatever units you're missing the questions on in your question simulator. So you could use that question simulator as a diagnostic tool to figure out what you need to focus on, because there's no sense of studying units that you already are doing well in. If you're already doing well in them, you're just wasting your time studying those further if you're already scoring a perfect score out of that unit. There's nothing more you could gain out of it. Or maybe you might not be wasting your time because maybe you missed one question, but maybe you missed one question from one chapter, whereas another chapter you missed 7 questions. So focus on those areas that need the most improvement, because you don't have to get a perfect score to pass this exam. The state exam, you only need a 75%. And this exam is multiple choice. It's 75%, it's multiple choice, and you're literally required to take the course where you learn about the material. Now that makes it sound really easy, and this can be easy. Maybe not just as easy as just taking the course. Is that possible? Yes. But here's one of the things I would highly recommend if you want to do this without trying to do any extra studying, is as soon as you finish that course, you go right in as soon as you can to go take that exam, because every day that goes by, if you don't use it, you lose it. Now, chances are you might not be feeling ready to go after you've gone through and taken this course. Maybe you go and take your state exam right after you go finish the course and you don't pass it, and you say, oh man, I must not have learned everything I needed to learn. No, you did learn it. It's just you didn't remember it when it came time for the exam. That's the difference. There's so much information in this course. There's so much information, so many possible exam topics. And it all gets covered at some point to some degree, but maybe not in the context that the way the exam question is set up. And this is going even deeper into the way our pass first try strategy works. Is these exam questions are not questions you're going to simply memorize. So our question simulator, those are not the exam questions. Now, we have had students tell us that those questions are very similar, if not identical, to some of the questions they've seen on their state exam, but that's just coincidence. That's just because we really know what are popular questions on the exam. We've taken these exams ourselves, so we've helped thousands of people. We know what the Florida Real Estate Commission considers important. If you just simply watch the FREC meetings, if you pay attention to what the Florida Real Estate Commission does, it's pretty obvious what are the important things to them and what are the things they're most concerned with. So we factor that all in not just our curriculum, but again, for building these study tools, because we're here to make this easy. You shouldn't be paying us money if we're making this difficult. We're not here to make this more difficult. We're here to streamline this, to make this easy, to break this down into simpler steps. And that's what our pass first try strategy is all about. And look, you could even just use the pass first try strategy without the study tools, but then you have to figure out on your own what's important, what do you need to study. These study tools that come with our pass first try strategy, these are designed to help you figure that out and give you the information of what you need to study. And again, without you having to get back into the course and potentially being distracted by that information that's required to be there, but not necessarily as important for the exam. And this is all set up where you could do this while you're in the course. Because if you're doing this while you're in the course, you're hedging your bets for passing this exam. You might be able to pass just taking the course without doing any studying. I won't say it hasn't been done before. It has. It gets done awful, can somehow pass this exam. Maybe it's because they already have an idea of real estate. Maybe they already understand a lot of the laws. Maybe they're just some sort of genius. Who knows? Now, this test is not a test of how smart you are, so you could be a genius and still not pass this exam. We've had people that have came to us with PhDs, with master's degrees, and they say, I don't understand, I can't pass this exam. Attorneys, if you took the course already, you might know that attorneys are exempt from the pre-licensing course. They just have to pass the state exam. We still get attorneys that come to take our courses, that come to buy our study tools, because they can't pass the exam. So if you're having trouble passing this exam, it's not because you're not smart enough, it's because you don't remember the information that they're testing you on. And that's difficult. It's hard to remember stuff, especially when we're bombarded by this nonsense all day, whether it's advertisements or TV or whatever it is that's going on in our world. That's all information that counteracts against this information that you learn in the course. So our Pass First Try study tools, again, this is designed to help taking thinking out of the equation. That you don't have to think about how to study or what is the best way to study. We've already got the tried and true format that we've used with thousands of students to help them get their real estate license and start their real estate career. If you want to try to find a better way, best of luck to you, but we've been doing this for quite a few years and we've helped quite a few people get their real estate license, so this is pretty dialed in. Now, is this a magic pill? No, because these are just tools. You can't just go to Home Depot and buy a bunch of tools and all of a sudden you have a house. And unfortunately, you can't just pay somebody to take this exam for you like you could pay somebody to build a house for you. So these tools are designed, again, to help you remember the key points, test your knowledge to figure out what areas you need to work on, as well as how the questions work. That this isn't just memorization. This is where you have to apply those key concepts in these random scenarios that they come up with on the exam, and then also to be confident and prepared. Those are the things beyond just learning the information. Step one of the Pass First Try strategy is to learn the information. That's where you start out with. That's what's required. But if you wonder why the state exam has a 50% pass rate statewide, last month it was only 48%, and it's actually been around 48% it's been hovering at. So why is this exam only 48%? I thought you said you don't have to be a genius to pass this. No, you don't. But you do need to know the information that they're going to be asking you questions on. We can't tell you exactly what 100 questions they'll give you. There's thousands of questions they pull from. And you might, if you took an instructor-led class, you might remember something the instructor mentioned about that, and that's good because the number one tip I would give you for this exam, and it might sound silly, but it works. And that number one tip is if you don't remember it from your course, it's not your answer. That's one of the things to realize. That's a little tip from our Secrets of the Exam course. The best tip I could give you for this exam is if you do not remember it from the course, it's not going to be your answer. And the more time it is that you spend studying this information and going through it, especially if you're going through our Pass First Try study tools, where again the information you're seeing in there is the most important information only and not the other minutia that's required to be taught but probably won't be on your exam. So you're able to hone in more so on what you need to know, and so you're more likely to remember. And you might not remember exactly whatever it is that it's asking about, but the fact that you recognize it is a good sign. Now, that's why, again, it's important that you be careful where you're getting your information from. There's a lot of nationwide courses, there's a lot of nationwide exam prep tools that are out there, and they might say that they're Florida specific, but your company that sells these courses and these study tools nationwide. At Tampa School of Real Estate, we do sell nationwide, we sell worldwide, but Florida real estate courses. We are the specialist in Florida real estate courses. That's all we claim to be. We don't claim to be the specialist of any other states except for Florida. So we put all our eggs in that Florida basket. Again, we might have people from all over the world taking our courses, but for Florida real estate license. So all the information that you're seeing in our study tools is relevant to exams as well that overlap, but you're not going to see information that's important in other states that's not important in Florida. It's only Florida stuff. That's all we care about here because we're just trying to help you get a Florida real estate license. If you're trying to get a real estate license in another state, we can't help you with that. We're only licensed for Florida. We only offer courses here in Florida. And again, that's where we specialize. And that's what these study tools are set up to do, to help you hone in and focus just on what's important for the Florida real estate exam. The weekend prep recording, that has a workbook that goes along with it that has little details in there. So there's the visual aspect, there's the audio aspect, there's the interactive engagement part of this. And regardless of what type of learner it is that you are, all of these different styles of learning, listening, you might say, oh, well, I'm not an auditory learner, I have to see it. That's all right, listen to the MP3 audio review. Trust me, you do have some auditory capability. Nobody is just completely, can you listen, can you hear? Okay, great. As long as you could listen, the MP3 audio review is great. If you cannot hear, and you can't do bone induction headphones or anything like that, then yeah, okay, maybe then reading the script. But if you've got the miracle of being able to hear, that MP3 audio review can be very beneficial, even if, it feels like sometimes when people are talking, you tune them out. I do that all the time. But I also learn a lot from audiobooks. I used an audio review back when I was studying to get my real estate license. It was CDs back then that you had to have, but that works. It's worked for years. This isn't the first time. We didn't invent an MP3 audio review. We just made a really good one for passing your Florida real estate exam. The question simulator, that helps you engage with the information and actually think about it. Question simulator isn't designed to be something that you memorize. It's designed to be something that gets you thinking about those key points that you have been memorizing and how to apply them. And then when you want the whole visual, auditory, full shebang, just like you're in the class, but being able to repeat it again and again as many times as you need to, that's where our weekend prep recording is there for you to focus on whatever particular unit. You can watch the whole thing. You can just listen to it. You could watch me go through and solve math questions on the screen. So when you're looking for more of the explanation, that's where that weekend prep recording is very helpful. The MP3 just focuses on really what the key points are. There's not really as much explanation, but that's okay because for that stuff, it's usually pretty simple, straightforward stuff. But then for those little things here and there that you don't quite get it, you maybe need that little bit more, that's where the weekend prep comes in. So between these different tools that we have in our Pass First Try strategy, you will have what you need to study to prepare to pass these exams on your first try. Are you going to pass on your first try? Well, that's up to you. We can't guarantee it. The FREC doesn't even allow us to guarantee it. We can't give you anything if you don't pass your exam. There's actually a FREC rule that says that. We're pretty confident we'd do it if they let us, but we can't. So check that out at passfirsttry.com. We actually, if you don't have one of these courses yet, we have some great bundles. And if you're currently a student with us as well, call us up because we've got some great bundle pricing on our study tools. If the Pass First Try strategy, maybe you just need a little extra help, we also have a smaller bundle that includes just our MP3 audio review and our question simulator. So we have all different study tools, all different bundles available, whether you need the course, whether you don't need the course. Look, if you're feeling frustrated, if you've taken your exam and you haven't been able to pass it, give us a call. Let us help diagnose what's going on, what you've been doing, what might be helping, what might be hurting, and what you could do to change that trajectory so that you do pass this exam. This is what we do for a living. This is our day-to-day job here of helping people pass the real estate exam and start their real estate career. So we're here, we're available, we can help you. We've got great study tools. We've got a great team of instructors. Give us a call, 813-333-2676. Again, that's 813-333-2676. You can also check out more info online at passfirsttry.com or our main website, tampaschool.com. Tampaschool.com, you'll be able to find all of our courses, all of our class schedules coming up, as well as all of our study tools. And if you're not yet subscribed to our Ask the Instructor series, we've got an email form right on that website where you can get email updates whenever it is that we've got one of these new episodes that we're dropping. Or if you're watching us on Facebook or YouTube, just hit that little bell icon and you'll get notifications from Facebook or YouTube whenever it is that we've got new content for you. Thank you guys for spending time with me today. If you guys have questions, again, 813-333-2676. We have advisors standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way it is that they can. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you on Friday for State of Real Estate. The most powerful tool to study for your real estate exam is the Question Simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate. We've used our years of experience in preparing students for the Florida real estate exam to bring you the most powerful exam study tool available. In the question simulator, you'll be able to go directly to a particular unit so you can focus on the sections where you need the most practice. We have also included the percentages of each unit so you know which units are the most important for your real estate exam. Every question will immediately give you detailed feedback, which is almost always more important than the question or the answer themselves. After completing all the questions in a particular unit, you can go through question by question and review any that you've gotten wrong. You could also print out a report at the end of each quiz. The question simulator from Tampa School of Real Estate is 100% mobile compatible, so you can practice with test questions anywhere you have your phone with you. Enroll now at questionsimulator.com and get ready to pass your exam. Studying for your Florida real estate exam? If you are, you need to check out our Pass First Try strategy. You're going to love this. It's 4 steps that we break down the process to study for your Florida real estate exam. So you're set up to pass your Florida real estate exam because that's what you're studying for, right? To pass your exam. It's 4 steps. Number 1, you learn the information. You've got to learn this to be able to pass the exam, but it doesn't stop at learning. Step 2, you've got to reinforce the basic, simple, key concepts. As you learn this information, keep reviewing the simple things. You don't need to know everything, but you got to review these basic key concepts. Step 3, you've got to test your knowledge. The exam's going to test your knowledge, so if you don't test your knowledge in advance, you won't find out if you know what you think you know until you take the exam. And then step 4 is be confident and prepared, because even if you know this material, you need to be confident that you know the material. Check out the full strategy at passfirsttry.com. That's passfirsttry.com. Hey, so if you're thinking about starting a real estate career, it could feel a little overwhelming sometimes. Look, that's completely understandable. That's why we're here to help. If you haven't already, check out our Success Center, tampaschool.com/success, or if you don't even know where to begin, give us a call. We'd love to help you out. We've got advisors standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way it is that we can. Our phone number is 813-928-0106. Again, that's 813-928-0106. Give us a call. We're the Tampa School of Real Estate. Do you want a career that allows you to be in control? With a career in real estate, you'll get to call the shots. Whether you're looking at starting part-time or want to become the next top agent, a career in real estate makes it possible. Find out what it takes at tampaschool.com. Do you want to incorporate studying for your real estate exams into your busy schedule? Now you can review the key topics you need to know to pass your class and state exams with our MP3 audio review. Simply pop in your headphone to reinforce crucial information while you exercise or drive. Listen to the first unit for free at mp3audioreview.com. That's mp3audioreview.com. Are you thinking about a career in real estate? Hey, I'm John Christma with the Tampa School of Real Estate, and we've helped thousands of people just like you obtain their real estate license. If you're thinking about a career in real estate, give us a call. The phone number is 813-928-0106. Our advisors are standing by to answer any questions you have and assist you in any way they can. Hey, if you're enjoying the show today, which I'm sure you are, be sure to hit like, subscribe, post your comments, share with your friends and family. Thank you guys so much for watching.